Hello friends, it is Stasia and welcome back to my channel. So today I am obviously starting my book club book for February. I'm super excited about this one. It is a bit of a longer one. It's like just over 500 pages, but the font looks pretty good, like pretty big, and it seems to have at least some text messages, not a whole bunch, but maybe just a couple. But I feel like I can get through it pretty quickly. And if you missed the announcement for Q1 picks, it's obviously already in the title, but February's pick is 1111 by micalea Smeltzer. And yeah, so this would be my first book from the author, and I'm, like I said, super excited. It is a pretty big girl. I also got this book off of Amazon, and then when I got it, I realized it was signed. So that's also super fun. Only one book this month, so I will be doing 25% updates. It will be completely spoiler free unless I say otherwise, like, hey, this is a spoiler, and then I'll put a little warning, and then, you know, that sort of thing. But for the most part, they seem to be pretty spoiler free. So I don't know too much about this. I know it is small town, one night stand, and it's like, oops, I went on a date with your dad, I think is what they say. Hero has glasses, and reverse age gap is what I know about this. Other than that, we are gonna find out together. Like I said, she's a pretty thick book, but Rylanne said that she read like the first 125 pages super quick. So I'm excited. We're gonna go ahead and start this, like I said, at 25% updates. I'm hoping that I could get to at least like page 75-ish. I would like to get to before we go to the gym. It is currently only 2:30. I'm not entirely sure when my husband is getting home, but Rylanne is currently on live sprints right now. I just got off of live sprints, but I was reading so many other books that I didn't get to start this. But Rylanne just started her live sprints, and she will go ahead and do her sprint. So hopefully that'll keep me accountable, and I can go ahead and start this. But yeah, so that's all I have to say for now, and I will chat with you all soon when I reach 25%. My friends, here with an update because I'm currently on live sprints, and I just hit 25% into 1111, so I can tell you a little bit more about the book now. So our book follows Via. She is 32 and recently divorced. After this divorce, she realizes that she needs to get out of California and kind of do her own thing. So she moves to, I have no idea where, oh, Maine. She's in Maine. So she moves to Maine to open up a like art studio. She bought like a space with an apartment overhead, and that's kind of where she's going to live her life now. Her past is a little messy with her ex-husband, and she doesn't really feel like she's understood in her decision, But now that she's in Maine, her sister encourages her to go to a bar and get a little outside of her comfort zone. So she's like, all right, I'll do it. So she goes to a bar and ends up meeting Reed, who is freshly 21 years old, and they end up having a one-night stand. At this point, they've not seen each other again, so we'll see how that develops, because obviously our main male love interest is Reed, so I'm interested to see how they meet again. But like I said, 25% in, and I'm really enjoying it. It's so easy to read. I love Via. She's so relatable. Her problems are not necessarily relatable because she's recently divorced, but just the way her life was and the lack of support that she got in her dreams beforehand are just like, it's real stuff, you know? And I really love Via. I feel like she is trying her very best to basically be better, have these new experiences, not be afraid to do things alone or be alone after 10 years with her now ex-husband. So it's interesting to find that growth and like independence with Via, and that like learning curve on, you know, like she is obviously still going to grieve this marriage despite what happened, and all of the problems that came with it. So I'm really enjoying it. I love Via. Reed is chef's kiss. I cannot wait until he's back in the book. Just the small bit that we did get with them meeting in the bar and the one night stand, he was already so good. So I'm so excited to see where it can go, because Reed was just so attentive and great and so sweet. So I'm excited to see him again. But yeah, so that's pretty much where we stand now. My goal is to get to at least 50% today. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump back into reading. I have sprints all day, so I should theoretically be able to get to 50%. So I'll probably be sitting in this exact same spot, in this exact same clothes, when I give you guys my 50% update. But yeah, so hopefully I'll chat to you all soon when I reach the halfway point of 11:11. As I assumed, I'm in the exact same spot, but I'm here for an update because I just reached 50% of 11:11. There is the tab update. I don't think I showed it for my 25%, but that's fine. I'm really loving this book. I love Via and I love Reed. We've also gotten some chapters from Reed's perspective, which I think is also so much fun. But I just love the ease of them being together. Like, neither of them are trying to pressure the other person. Neither of them are trying to make like major decisions. They're just kind of hanging out. They just want to get to know each other, and I really love that. Reed is apparently 21 years old and he's just so smooth with it. I just love the care that he takes with Via, and she's obviously never had that care before, so it's so sweet to see her finally get the care that she deserves. But yeah, I really love them, and this book is so easy to read. Like, I'm just flying through it. I love that they're getting to know each other and making it more than just like sleeping together. Reed definitely is so interested in Via and wants to pursue that, but Via obviously is very hesitant considering she just got divorced, and she obviously knows that they have the age gap. Reed doesn't care. Reed doesn't think about the age gap much, but Via, obviously, she knows how society will perceive that and stuff. So there's a lot of conversations, but they are still getting to know each other, and it's so much fun. I think I might run out of some tabs before I finish the book, because I have over 200 pages left and some of my tabs are running low. I don't know if you guys can really notice that, but I'll just have to find like other colors that closely match if I can. But I feel like at this point we are definitely headed towards a 5-star. I have no clue if there will be a third act breakup. There's obviously time for that to happen because I'm only at 50%. But it's so easy to read, so fun. Like, I just find myself smiling so much while we're reading this book. So I am really, really loving it. I am planning on hopefully finishing it up either today or tomorrow. We will see. But as of now, I'm on track to finish it soon. It's literally only noon here, so I definitely have the time, but we'll see how the rest of the day goes. But I will chat to you all again soon when I reach 75%. All right, friends, hello. We're still in the same spot, in the same clothes, because it's the same day. But it is time for an update. I am a little bit before the actual like 75% mark, but I just hit part 3. So I figure it would be a good time to do an update anyways, instead of waiting until we're a couple chapters into part 3 to do the update like I originally planned, because I didn't know where the parts ended. So I just split it by like percentage. But I feel like this is a good place for an update. So here's the tab update. I've already needed to find some new tabs, even though they don't necessarily like match. So like in my key now I have like a part 2 going on, but that's fine. 75% in and very, very much enjoying it. One thing that has bothered me a tiny, tiny bit is, okay, let me preface this. I understand that our main character Via is going through a divorce. If you guys hear my dogs, I completely apologize, but I need to do this update now. And they just got fed. So if you hear them eating and drinking, I apologize, but it is what it is. But anyway, so I know that Via just got divorced. I feel like it just hits a little too close to home, and I think that's why it bugs me, because Via was with her ex-husband Chase since they were like in their 20s. So they were together for like 10 years or something. My husband and I have been together for 10 years, and I got married when I was 20. So like seeing that her reflect on that, being like, oh, like I was in my 20s, I didn't know any better, it just bugs me a little bit, because I am very much still in love with my husband. So I know that this is like a fictional story, and I totally understand like Via's perspective and all of that stuff. The author is also not saying that early marriage or like stuff like that is necessarily bad. Like the author does say like, oh, Via understands that her marriage wasn't necessarily wrong, but I just don't like the little comments where it's kind of like, oh, maybe I just didn't know better because I was so young, which like I said, I get. It just annoys me a little bit because like my husband and I got married young, so I don't like that stigma. But anyways, besides the point, I just reached part 3, and the last sentence of part 2, there's about to be some drama, and I am so excited and nervous because I don't know if this book has a third act breakup, and I don't know how Reed and Via are going to deal with the situation that has just come up. So I'm a bit nervous, but I'm very excited because I feel like Reed is mature, and I feel like hopefully there is conversations, and this is a mature situation and not one that is like purely emotional and leads to a gigantic third act breakup. But I wouldn't know because we have about 140 some odd pages left in the book, so there's definitely time for a third act conflict. I just don't know what's going to actually happen, but I am really enjoying it. I love Reed and Via and how they have agreed to get to know each other and make this relationship more than just like a sexual thing. Like they want to get to know each other, so they didn't like just jump right into that. Even though they started at a one-night stand, they definitely took it slow. So I really loved that. There's also heavier topics in this book that I didn't realize, not with our direct main characters, but trigger warning, I guess. There are like hints of domestic violence. So there is that. Like I said, not with our main characters. Like, it's not between Reed and Via, but that does happen in the book. So just letting you know, if that is something that is a trigger for you. I just didn't expect it. But yeah, there is a little bit of that in there. But overall, I'm really loving it. Like I said, their connection is so good. But there's just so many secrets to still like be put out there, and they still don't know each other's full stories. So like I said, we still have 140 pages left. At this point, I feel like this is where the main conflict will rise up, but we'll see like how they deal with it. I feel like how they deal with it will be a really big like make or break situation for me, but I'm having a good time with it. I'm excited to keep going. We'll see where we end up. There's a lot of potential in the ending depending on how it goes, but we'll just see how the characters do with this. And then I think that'll have a pretty big impact on my final rating. But that is how I feel, roughly 75% into the book. We have 140-ish pages left, and then I will be chatting with you guys about my final thoughts. I am hoping that I can finish this today. I've said this so many times in this vlog, but I'm still on live sprints. But I am still hoping to finish this today and seeing where we end up. I'm not gonna finish it on live sprints because this is our last sprint, but I'm hoping that I can still finish it tonight. It is only 6:30, so I definitely have the time. But hopefully I'll chat with you all soon on my final thoughts. But so far, it's a positive thing. And I'm excited to see where we all end up. So I'll chat to you all soon with my final thoughts on 11/11. Hello friends, it is the next day, but last night I did end up finishing 11/11. There is the final annotations. I feel like sometimes I overly tab, if that's a thing, but that's all right. So 11/11 is finished. Let's get into some final thoughts. So I ended up giving this book 4.5 stars. I did really enjoy it. My two main things were one of them was the thing that I mentioned earlier with like the concept of like getting married young and stuff like that. I think it was just too much considering I got married young and I just didn't like how it was spoken about. And then the second thing was I feel like this book was so heavily advertised as like, oops, I went on a date with your dad. And then I feel like that wasn't super relevant. If I'm being honest, I feel like it wasn't super relevant. So I don't know, it was just weird. It also kind of gave me the ick when Reed would like talk about his dad, where he's like, oh, I'm better than my dad. Like, why is that a competition? When Via did, like, she never mentioned wanting your dad. So those were my two main things. I will also say her ex, Chase, I feel like that storyline was also a bit weird and kind of just like popped in and out, but overall I did really enjoy it. So I did give it 4.5 stars. Definitely a good read and my first from the author, so I definitely do want to read more from the author. Despite it being a 500-page book, I also thought it was a really fast read, so that's nice. But yeah, so that is that. That is all for the February reading vlog for the Mending Hearts Book Club. In case you missed it or forgot or just didn't know, in March, I don't physically have my book right now, it's upstairs, but in the month of March, we will be reading Hunt on Dark Waters, Hunt on the Dark Water, something like that, by Katie Robert. That is a romantasy. It's a pretty short book, so that's good, but it is a romantasy between, oh goodness, I think it's a pirate and a witch, I think. I think that's the vibe. And it's like high stakes captive situation, I believe, but it's a pretty small book, so I am looking forward to that. I have read from Katie Robert before and have enjoyed it, but that is our book for March. Hopefully you would join us. Of course, I will have all of my personal links, as well as all the links for the book club and my co-host Rylanne's link in the description down below. But thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.